Hey friends, Alex Fisher here. There's definitely some drills that you can do that can totally overcorrect an issue that you might have in your golf swing, but working on compression is not one of those. Stick around, I'm going to show you kind of this really cool, simple drill that's going to help you compress the ball and just be a better ball striker, so stick around. All right, so let's get to it. So compressing the ball, why do we always hear about that and why is it so important? Well, if you think about the golf swing as a pendulum, we have to make sure that the golf club is traveling on the downward part of the swing arc, and we call that angle of attack, hitting down on the ball. We want to make sure that we are hitting the ground after the golf ball. And if we actually make the club bottom out too soon, the club's going to ascend to the ball, and that's why we end up hitting it thin and even top the ball. It's not because we're lifting our head up, it's just because we're making the club not go down to the ball correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to suggest that you get a golf club, something like a 9-iron, something nice and short. Go ahead and put a tee in the end of your golf club here. And what I want you to do is I want you to make some small swings with the idea of keeping this tee pointing down to the ground as long as you can. What we see is when we bottom out the club too soon, it's because our body is lacking rotation through impact and the swing's not going to stop. So what happens is our hands and arms go faster, and that's why we get this big flip. So what I want you to do, make some small swings, really try and kind of get your hands in line with your back leg, and that tee is still not pointing at my chest. As I go from there, I'm just going to go ahead and rotate coming through. Now, to hit the ground itself, we have to be more active with our back arm, our trailing arm. So for me, it'd be my right arm. As I go back, my back arm is going to be bent, but I have to really feel like I'm extending as I'm driving that club into the ground. I'm not trying to lead with my front arm. Definitely don't want to do that. We're not going to be able to hit the ground if we do that. So from making those small swings, keeping the end of the golf club, the tee, pointing down to the ground until I get to my leg here. This arm's going to be nice and soft. I want to drive that club into the ground. Be aggressive with it. So a small swing, idea again, keep this pointing down to the ground to my hands, and then trailing arm is going to drive the club into the ground, and then go ahead and hold that finish. If you do that and you start to see that your divots are in front of the ball, then you know that you're doing the drill correctly. If you're missing the ground altogether, remember it's your trailing arm that has to be more aggressive and drive that club into the ground itself. But just by using a simple tee, making some small swings, keeping that pointing down to the ground as long as you can, and then drive that right arm into the ground, guarantee your ball striking is going to get a lot better. Thanks so much for checking out this video.